Welcome to the podcast with wings, the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Strap yourselves in while host David Shortte and the Shayne Train Williams take you on a flight around the country, sourcing winners and the latest news on the big two meetings in WA as well as the Meadows and Wentworth Park. The boys will be joined by East Coast experts Jaycin Campbell and Corey Smith. We'll pass on mail from some of WA's top kennels and get to know our industry members. You're at the pointy end of the plane for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set.
Hello and welcome along to the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set podcast for another week. David Shortte and the Shayne Train Williams with you. A very exciting weekend of greyhound racing upcoming right around this great nation. Joining me to have a look at all the Shayne Train. Hello, Train.
Hello, Shorty. How are you? Really looking forward to getting stuck into this meeting, Shorty. These cards are racing over the weekend. Things are really heating up, and right off the top, that's what's caught my eye, Shorty. The MDC all up the Everest next week. How big is that going to be?
Yeah, massive. Can't wait, Train. So just letting everyone know early, there will be no Jet Set podcast next week. We'll be fortunate enough to be across having a look at the $1 Million Chase final and also the Everest the day after, and hopefully cheering on a couple of sandgropers.
Yeah, it could be the go. I think I heard you say this morning Bezecchi's into favourite for the MDC. It's a big coup for WA Racing and Paul Stewart, and I think he's about $1.75 to win his heat, Shorty, so we'll be cheering him home hard on Saturday.
Yeah, and what about that? That's what caught my eye last week. The second fastest time ever at Wentworth Park behind Shaky Jakey. It's a record that has stood for a really long period of time. There's been a lot of outstanding sprinters. Some of Australia's very best over the last decade have gone around there at Wentworth Park. And for Bezecchi to go around there first look in a race and run the second quickest ever within 3/4 of a long-standing track record was just a mighty run.
100%. And Shorty, I'll tell you something you probably didn't know. I actually drove the lure when Shaky Jakey broke the track record, and at Wentworth Park, you're up 3 stories high in a little commentary box, and right next door to me was the great man Paul Ambrosoli, and he came in after that race and said they must have clocked the lure. And anyone that drives a lure will know that you get to a stage, Shorty, around about where the 600-metre boxes would be, is about when the dogs sort of tend to get a bit tired and you've got to back off a little bit.
Yeah.
There's only 1 or 2 times before that where I hadn't had to back off and just kept it at the same speed. But that particular day when Shaky Jakey raced Shorty, I had to actually extend the lure for more power at that stage. So I knew that it broke the track record, as it was the first time that had ever happened to me. So, I think might have been a similar case for the lure driver there on Saturday night, because he was ripping through the gears. And I guess the fact is he never led in his life, Shorty, which obviously we've never seen him run any times like that over here because he'd never jumped that well. So, look, he's going to have to sort of come out okay on from the wide draw, but we know he's really good in the field and strong at the back end. So, yeah, wishing Paul Stewart and everyone else with a runner there on Saturday night all the best of luck.
Absolutely. So just to break it down, that's what's caught my eye. So tonight, Angle Park Adelaide Cup final, we've got Kanan Stark flying the flag for the West Aussies, draws box 6. It's one of the outsiders of the field. There is a world, though, where this dog can get the map to show enough speed to be right up on top of the speed. There's a couple of closers there that may be a little swifter late in the piece, but I wouldn't faint if it was able to hit the frame tonight in that Adelaide Cup final with a fast getaway.
No, not at all. It's got good speed, and that's what you want to be in a final, rolling forward in races like that. But that is a hot race, and I think that's probably the best Adelaide Cup field I've seen for a while. I did mention it yesterday on Great Greys that I think you'd see 2 or 3 of them dogs in the Top Gun, no problem at all. So a tough map and a tough race to work out. It's tricky off the 8, but it's going to be a great race, Shorty. Really looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah, can't wait. And then on Saturday night at Wentworth Park, so from a WA perspective, we have Savic going around in a heat of the Sydney Cup early doors, taking on some high-quality stayers there. If you're looking to tune in and watch that particular race, we'll give you an update on the way through when you should be watching in. So this one will be 4:29 WA time. Savic's a $9.50 chance, draws box number 5, takes on the flying She Is Fire, Aunt Virginia, the Star Queenslander Vol Pellicella. That's going to be a great race.
2 heats of that, so top 4?
Yeah, top 4 through to the final the week after. And the first heat exploded is the $2.05 favourite in front of the 2 Star Victorians, Ella's Babe and Ethanol Water, one of our all-time favourites. It was very good over the longer trip at Sandown there last time, winning in 41 and 65. And then deeper into the program, there's plenty of greyhounds we'll be keeping on the radar for the Sandgroper for next year through these particular races. But I know that we've got Bezecchi in race 6, draws box number 7, comes up at 5:49 WA time. It's a $1.75 favourite on the fixed odds with TABtouch. We also have later on in the program Sunset Frazier, fresh off blacktop success there at the Gardens. It will be at 6:32 WA time, race number 8, draws box 3. It's the $3.60 favourite to get the job done there. And then we see in race 9, which is at 6:54, Miss Envy for Crystal Shinners, draws box 7. It's a $7.50 chance there. And then Crystal and Steve have a couple of runners, Transcendent and also La Sagrada, going around in the Young Stars heats there on Sunday as well at Wentworth Park. So good luck to all of our West Aussies that are across there on the East Coast flying the flag for WA over the next couple of nights.
Yeah, I really love this series, Shorty. You see all these heats accumulate into a massive night where there's about 7 or 8 finals on MDC night. They cater for everything: maidens, older dogs, staying races, sprint races, Young Star Classic. It's a great night, and I've done one MDC very early on, Shorty. I think Mystic Riot won it the year I was there, so yeah, really looking forward to catching up with this one.
Wouldn't that be something if we could get a Sandgroper over the line and be there on track cheering them home? Let's hope that they can qualify through from their semi-finals there. Of course, you need to win to get through. No point running second on Saturday night. Let's hope they get the gold medals put around their neck. But a busy weekend for the WA Chasers, and good luck to all of the connections there. Let's rip into it, Train. We've got a busy weekend of greyhound racing here locally to have a look at. Mandurah Friday night is where it all kicks off. Take us through your key plays for this evening down there at the Coastal Circuit.
Yeah, I've gone seeking a bit of value tonight, Shorty. I thought it was a tricky card, and I thought there was a bit of value there, so hopefully we can get a piece of it tonight. I'm going to kick off things with race 7, number 2, Paddup Declan. He was first up over the 400-metre trip for quite a while last week. He'd been running over the 300s at Mandurah and Northam and been running quite well in them 3-4 races. He ran third last week, running 22.34, getting beat. I thought that was quite creditable considering the step up from them 300-metre races. So I think he's going to strip a lot fitter. And he can improve that time a little bit, Shorty. We know he likes to roll forward. I think it'll be hard to beat. Just got to trim that time up a little bit, which I think he will with that second run over the 400. So, Paddup Declan to get the job done for us tonight, race 7, number 2. Then we'll kick
on to the secondary.
Yep, we'll kick over to race 9, number 7, Tear Tremor, dog trained by Cody Charles. She's a member of a very hot litter, Shorty, that goes back to them Tears, Lions, and Michael Ivers breed, and Firelighter is in this litter as well. So, Cody's been mixing her distances and stuff, and I really liked her run last week. She went back to the 300 metres and absolutely flew out of the boxes, 6:51 early, and breaking that at 17 second barrier, Shorty, as we always say. The key to this little girl is confidence, and this whole litter revolves around that, and I think that win last week would give her a stack of confidence. She steps up to the 400. She runs anything like that early split last week, she's going to be a long way in front in this over the 400, and she can run the trip out no problem. She's been up over the 500 and even 600 in Sydney. So Tear Tremor, our next play, Shorty.
Tear Tremor, the second of the plays for the train on Friday night, and the third of them?
We're going to go deep. Race 12, number 5, Sunset Ali. He's a flying machine, Shorty, when he gets it right. He's having his 5th run back from a lengthy spell now, and I've noticed them run-home times have been coming down and down, so I think he should be at peak fitness for this tonight. 22-20-odd last week, getting beat in a free-for-all company, drops back to Provincial 4. I think he's the best bet of the night, Shorty. I think he'll get the job done late in the piece, Sunset Ali.
Excellent. So we've got 7-2-9, 7-12, 5 for the train there tonight at Mandurah. Earlier this morning on Chasing Winners, Ryan Levitsky, his 3 best. Race 3, number 3, Beer Thanks. Race 7, number 3, Min Smiley. Race 13, number 4, Curate's Egg. That's 3-3, 7-3, 13-4. Jesse Erenshaw's best. Race 5, number 1, Our Benson. Race 7, number 1, Fancy That Fred. And race 10, number 8, Aston Bollinger. For me, my 3 best are, I'm starting with race 7, number 1, Fancy That Fred. He can use a little bit of the track, this dog, but he's been racing well. I like the way that been going about its work of late. I think off the inside should be able to show that good early pace, and from there be where it likes to be in the run. Race 7, number 1, Fancy That Fred. On to race 8, number 2, Go Seek Ariana. I thought this looked to be one of the better bets of the weekend. Go Seek Ariana strikes the race with very little early pace around. Should be able to roll to the top, and from there, I think sub 27.5 will be very hard to beat. Race 8, number 2, Go Seek Ariana. And I'll round it out with race 9, number 5, Another James. This dog was simply stunning last week. From box number 3, hit the ground running with quick early splits, and overall 22 and 25. Just a rinse and repeat job here. Needs to hit the start. Can be a little bit hit and miss at box rise, and that's my biggest fear with Another James. But if it can run to that split from last week and run to that 22-2, good luck rolling it. So race 7, number 1, Fancy That Fred. Race 8, number 2, Go Seek Ariana. Race 9, number 5, Another James are my 3 key plays. My roughie of the weekend comes up this evening. It's just shy of double-figure digits. It may well get to that, but it's actually the trains dog. In race 5, number 4, Curious Georgia. I thought that a race like this, very capable of running an early split. I love the drop back to 400 metres here. It's been showing pace and getting run down over longer. Back to 400 metres, has gone as quick as 22.2. I dare say even quicker is potentially there with Curious Georgia with a clear run. I'm happy enough to make it my roughie there tonight, race 5, number 4.
Yeah, well, my roughie Shorty's gone right off. It was $10 earlier this morning, and I think it's into $4.80 now, so we might have to make it a rover. It was race 2, number 4, Dutch Rambo. It showed brilliant speed last week, only to be gunned down late, and I think it meets a bit of a weaker lineup here, so we might have to make it a rover now. But my other rover is also race 3, number 3, Beer Thanks. I just thought the red is badly boxed here. He wants the outside pretty badly, so I thought this could be a messy race, and if 3 hits the frame somewhere, could be some big exotics behind it. So that's my theory there, Shorty.
All right, fair enough. So the rove up with Beer Thanks, race 3, number 3. It's an interesting runner in that particular race. There's no doubt about that. The greyhound drawn box number 1, though, gets the luxury of a pretty significant downgrade. And while it has used a little bit of the track in the past, it's actually got a very warm sort of record when it draws this particular box. It's had 4 starts for 2 wins and has run some slick time off the inside. So it does need to get the start right, but with that downgrade, that could be the case tonight. But good price about Beer Thanks, and certainly looks to be right there in the mix if anything goes wrong with the red off that win last week. I've also come up with a quaddie play for tonight if you're looking to get involved there at Mandurah. First leg, numbers 1, 3, 4 and 8. The second leg, numbers 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. In the third leg, we're rolling with 1, 2, 3, 7 and 8, and then coming home with 2 and 8. That's $240 for a full unit.
It'll be a bit cheaper now. The 3's out of the first leg.
Jimmy's, that's right. Jimmy's is out. Yeah, so we've got 3 by 6 is 18, by 5's 92. That's the old, they head to the Ali Pally 180. That's the old 180 for the punters. If you're looking to get involved, $18 will get you 10% of that quaddie play tonight there at Mandurah. Good luck if you're playing along there at home. Okay, Train. Let's move on now to Saturday night. And it's an interesting night for your camp because, of course, you've got in the final the current favourite, Iconic Jet, the greyhound that finished runner-up in the SA Derby, returned to WA and went around last week in the heats as the fastest qualifier for the big final there on Saturday night. Comes up with box number 5, but currently our $3.90 favourite on the fixed odds with TABtouch in from 420. Sunset Nightjar's been 420 to 4. Sunset Serengeti 460 in firm. Spooky Hook 480 firm. Sunset Hornet 550 into 5. Seen a little bit of support. Emerald Guard 13 into 11. Inside Scoop 12 into 11. And Shy Emoji 26 into $23. Before we go in detail to the Mandurah Saturday night program, what did you make of that run last week from Iconic Jet, and what are the confidence levels like going into Saturday night to the feature?
Yeah, I think last week I was probably a bit nervous. Shorty had the 1 box and he was a short price favourite, and you just never know how they come back from a little stint over east. And I was just relieved that he got the job done last week, and it was a bit of a pressure release valve come off, and I'm really excited this week. I'm not nervous at all this week because he's actually made the final, and box 5 is going to make things a little bit tough. But I said he'd been drawn really well in most of his starts, so it was nearly time he sort of started to draw bad and have to work for his win, and that's what he's going to have to do tomorrow night, Shorty's. But the dog's in real good shape. He's had an excellent week. He's jumping out of his skin, so I'm excited to see how he can measure up from a bad draw against these type of dogs, and it's something he's going to have to get used to. Moving forward, is not going to get things his own way all the time, and it's just going to be a learning curve for the dog no matter what happens. So yeah, but really excited, and just to have a dog in the final of this calibre, and Dave Hobby's always hard to beat in these races, but we have knocked him off a couple of times, so hopefully we can do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. Well, good luck for that big final train. Great to see the dog back here in winning form, and he's a very, very smart pup. Is Iconic Jet. Hopefully it can show its best there from the squeeze draw in the feature on Saturday night. Take us through your key plays Saturday night, Mandra, Shayne.
Yeah, deep into the card for me, Shorty, all mine. I'm going to kick things off race 10, number 3, Ambrosia Tux. I was really impressed with this dog's win last week, and it was only second up in the state, and it went bang and led all the way. Thing of this race, Shorty, I've mapped it out. I hope I've mapped it out rightly. We've got Esperance Ace in box 4, who's a wide runner. Solid Tank the favourite in 5 now. And box 6 is Scratch. So Neon Leon comes into box 6. I think that's a really tricky draw for the favourite here. It's got one wanting to come in and one wanting to get out. So I just thought that allowed Ambrosia Tux a lot of room down on the rail, and anything a repeat of that time last week, I think it'd be very competitive in a race like this. So Andrew McLaren's going quite well with his team, and I think this might be a good each-way bet to have race 10, number 3, Ambrosia Tux.
All right, so on the upgrade here, Ambrosia Tux, but the dog has won 15 races with a further 21 placings in New South Wales. Was a very capable short courser over there on many occasions, took on some smart fields and was able to prevail. Race 10, number 3, Ambrosia Tux, onto the second of them.
I can really get nervous tipping these ones are greedies, Shorty. I remember not long ago, Rhino Bale, still hurting from that, but I thought race 11, number 1, Chloe Ant, really got a chance to break through here. That Sunset Comanche form is going to be a good form line for this sort of race. He's an absolute beast, that dog, and she ran second to him last week, and she ran 37.06 getting beat. I thought a repeat of that would see her hard to beat. Does not look any speed in this race whatsoever, so she looks to me like she's gifted the lead, and there is a few strong types in the race, but I'm thinking she'll be off and gone mid-race and be too big a break to be run down. So race 11, number 1, Chloe Ant, my second one.
Coming off a new personal best over the trip last week, race 11, number 1, Chloe Ant, and the third of them?
Well, Shorty, very resilient. Aussie Bluff, what can you say about it last week? Can you give me something?
Still in the corner rocking.
I tipped the whole of Kalgoorlie Aussie Bluff. I don't think I can show me face there for 12 months. They'll have me back. But I just thought the show was over when it led. It's like last week
it's run 400.
Well, last week it dwelt and it burned up and used a lot of petrol tickets, and then the week before, and then last week it just found the lead easy, and I just thought the show was over. And I had to. Lucky I wasn't in the pub when that got beat, because instead of getting drinks bought for me, I would have got them tipped over me, I think.
Yes.
But anyway, not the less, I just think it's a race where it can find the lead again. And as we've seen, the back end of her races are not that great, but we needed to get the start right and be off and gone. And this is a similar lineup to last week. The winners come out of it, so it goes into the last race. So, I'm gonna be resilient, Shorty, and give it one more go, and hopefully it does the job for us this week, race 12, number 4, Aussie Bluff.
Okay, so the train there, sticking with Aussie Bluff, race 12, number 4 to go along with race 10, number 3, Ambrosia Tux, race 11, number 1, Chloe Ant. Ryan Levitsky, race 3, number 6, Molotov Boy, race 4, number 1, Sunset Serengeti in the main race, and race 5, number 4, Bungee Man, so that's 3, 6, 4, 1, 5, 4. Jesse Earnshaw teaming up with Molfetta Abbey in the first, race 1, number 4. Race 6, number 1, Balmerino, and race 8, number 1, Flashing Kuna. So 1, 4, 6, 1, 8, 1 for Jesse. For me, race 2, number 1, Ditalini Manelli. I thought this might even be a bit shorter, to be honest. Currently around that 1.7. I think it's a multi-builder for the weekend. This dog was steaming last week, 27 and 32. Good early split, draws the same box. Should just posse up, hit the top, and I don't know if it runs to that 27.3 that anything will get near it. So more than happy to be with race 2, number 1, Ditalini Manelli. On to race 3, number 6, Molotov Boy. Thought this was a good performance there last week. I think it would be only benefiting from that performance and can butter up and run well again. And in race 5, number 4, Bungee Man's a race with good early pace around it. Should be able to camp just off speed and be strong to the line. Race 5, number 4, a Bungee Man. Race 2, number 1. Race 3, number 6. Race 5, number 4. I've got 2 rovers that I'm really keen on. In the main race on Saturday night, the WA Bred Championship final, a dog that's currently $11 and is a dog that'll get back and charge home. It was actually a stunning performance last week behind Iconic Jet. That's number 6, Emerald Guard. Now, with Sunset Serengeti, Sunset Nightjar, Spooky Hook, Sunset Hornet, Iconic Jet, all showing pace in boxes 1 through to 5. Emerald Guard won't. It'll just be able to flop over, get a lovely run in transit. Only one of those dogs is going to be able to lead. You'd expect it to be a fair bit of heat in the kitchen up top. The Emerald Guard will be camped off them, and it will be smashing the line and hitting the frame. As the second rank outsider of the field, I think it will jack up trifectas and first fours, so I've made it one of my absolute star rovers of the weekend in the main race. Race 4, number 6, Emerald Guard at the $11. And the other is a dog that's been good to us the last fortnight, getting home at good prices, and that is race 2, number 7, Zinc. I think Ditalini Manelli will smash these open mid-race, put a gap on them, and in those scenarios, you want to be on the run-home dogs to bust home and get past a few of the slower dogs late, and that's exactly what Zinc will be doing. So one up front, Ditalini Manelli, and roving Zinc with it for units. Trifecta's first fours there, race 2. Number 7, Zinc on the rove up behind number 1, Ditalini Manelli. I think will be winning that race. So 4, 6, 2, 7 for me. Train, you got any roughies, rovers, or indeed the quaddie for Saturday night?
Yeah, you got a rover there, Shorty. Race 1, number 1, Go Seek Francine. I think it'll roll forward, and it's not very strong at the back end of the races, but it can hit the frame there for the rover players. Race 1, number 1, and my quaddie for Saturday night at Mandurah is first leg Field, second leg 1, 4, 7. Third leg 2, 3, 7, 8, and we're home with 1, 5, 6. It's a very expensive quaddie, $288, and I don't know if I've been getting them short. I don't think I have been. So, play that for a small percentage punters until I hit some form with the quaddies.
Well, hopefully you get it, and it's a big divvy there. Of course, we did get the $7.5 grander early on, about the second or third week of the program. On one of the Friday nights. Now, we can, of course, have a good look at this program, Wentworth Park, on Saturday night, because it is absolutely chock full of quality. 8 heats of the $1 Million Chase semi-finals, winners through to that $1 Million final next Friday night, and the 2 heats of the Sydney Cup. Jaycin Campbell about to join us to go through this massive card.
It's a busy weekend of chasing in New South Wales. Joining the boys to help find you the winners, it's the one and only Jaycin Campbell.
On $1 Million Chase semi-final night, Sydney Cup heat night, there's only one man you want finding the winners, and that is, of course, the great man, Jaycin Campbell. JC, how do you do?
I'm chuffed with that entrance. Thank you very much, Shorty. I appreciate it. How are you and Shane travelling?
Beautifully.
Hey, JC, are you as fizzed up as Shorty for these heats on Saturday night? The great man.
I don't think anyone's as fizzed up as the great man. I'm still trying to get my bloody work done for the Meadows and Mandurah tomorrow night, to be honest with you. But I'm all about just ticking boxes here. So, yeah, I can't wait to obviously sit back, hopefully, tomorrow night. It'd be nice if I'm not heading out somewhere, but I'm sure I will be. But I'll be definitely tuning in on the phone. I'll be saying I'm not driving tonight. I'll be carpooling. I'll be having the phone on full screen mode, have my TABtouch app ready to rock and roll, and hopefully back a few winners at Winnie Park tomorrow.
He's like a can of Kirk's creaming soda, the great man. He's about to get shaken up and fizzed everywhere.
Oh, look
I'm
out.
more excited for next week, to be completely honest, because we've got 2 of WA's finest entering Sydney town, so I can't wait to meet you two.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun. Really looking forward to it, JC. We'll get right amongst it. Let's, though, before that, see if Train and I can't pay for our airfares and accommodation. It's not cheap coming to Sydney when the Everest is on, so we've got to cover some X's. Take us through your better bets for Saturday night there at Wentworth Park.
Yes, well, I've got one bet, value, banker, and the very best, as well as the quaddy legs. I'm going to kick off in race 1. Playing the 6 here, Exploded. He's a dog that we've mentioned multiple times over the past couple of months. He's obviously won a multitude of races. He's won his past 2 over this track and trip, running really slick times in that 41.50 zone. Faces Ella's Babe and Kanya Amy once again from last week, and I think they were actually suited to the small field. They are both dogs that require luck in running due to their racing style, whereas Exploder can get out in front. He was a bit of a shot duck there, as we mentioned in our messenger chat on after his race, and I thought he was really good to pull up and actually, I wouldn't say he was pulling away from Ella's Bay, but he was certainly holding her on the line. So I think the full field's in his favour here. He's drawn where he wants to be off the track, and hopefully he can carve across, lead this race up and run slick time again.
I thought the win was excellent because I must admit, if you'd have allowed me to sell my ticket at about the 600 metre mark, I would have absolutely sold it. And the dog dug in. I thought it showed really, really excellent qualities late in that race to just dig deep into the reserves and hold out a very strong dog in Ella's Bay. Ethanol Waters, the other really interesting runner in this race, coming off that nice win last time out over the longer trip, has always shown above average ability over all distances. Now being set for a distance campaign, it's a potential fly in the ointment for Exploded. I'm really interested to see how this race pans out. I'm with you with Exploded, but lots of respect for 2 and 3, and this just looks to be a beautiful novelty race with those 3 runners looking likely to fill the major placings. You could potentially throw in Kenya Amy, and Galactic Spartan's been going okay for 3rd and 4th there, but yeah, it's going to be a great way to kick the night off there in the first of the Sydney Cup heats. On to the next of your plays.
I'm going to go to the Roving Banker play now. Race 4, number 6, 7 Sinners. Just think the way the box draws haven't unfolded in this race, it appears to be set up for a speedy runner out wide. You've got Sunby and Brooklyn Brute drawn low. They both want to use the track on the first corner, and I don't think Blue Goose Boy or Mr. Peregrine are quick enough out of the boxes to actually cross them. I do admit both those dogs have a really ripping acceleration on them, but I just think they could go in a bit of a line to that first corner. I think 7 Sinners out wide, she can stick clear of trouble. She had a trial here last week, and she went 29.75 overall, which is, I guess, a fast in its own right, but nothing to write home about in these semi-finals. But she went 5.34 to the first mark, which is absolutely flying. We saw, obviously, Bezecchi almost break the track record, and he ran about that 5.37 or 5.38 from memory. So 5.34 is absolutely low flying. I think she can lead here, and she should be able to run a hole.
Okie doke. So that looks the goods. So race 4, number 6, 7 Sinners as the Roving Banker. On to the next of your plays.
We'll go to the value play of the night here. I think race 10, number 7, Blue Camaro. He's obviously a nice young dog. We've mentioned him last week on the show, and he was just, I guess, not overawed by the bright city lights, but he didn't get his start right. He yielded a lot of ground, and I thought he was terrific running home really strongly to only be beaten 3 lengths to Ali Tango. He's found a race here where I think there might be a few obstacles for dogs such as Power and Glory. He's drawn the middle rug. He isn't the greatest beginner. Smooth playing outside him should keep him company early. And I just think Blue Camaro, if he can get close enough, him and the other Victorian, Box 8, King Owen, those are 2 dogs that should be finishing off really strongly here. And I think one of them will be very hard to hold out late, and hopefully that's Blue Camaro.
All righty. Well, I'll join the party a bit deeper with the one you just mentioned, drawn outside of it. I thought it was a wonderful win last week. I've always been a rap on King Owen. It's got a knack of like showing up in races at double-figure odds or just under, and if they happen to go a bit nuts inside and it can get a spot, it'll be really strong late. But those 2 Victorians look really good chances at good prices in race number 10 there, JC. What about the next of your plays for Saturday night?
I've got to keep the very best for later, so I'm going to roll straight into the quaddy legs, and it might just be a complete and utter giveaway when I give you the leg 1 sole number 8, leg 2, 3 and 7, leg 3, 3 and 4, and leg 4, 2, 3 and 4. So I'm guessing you want to go over a few of the WA hopefuls tomorrow night, Shorty and Train.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll take you through my plays on the night there, JC. I'm kicking off with Exploded, race 1, number 6, Novelties with 2, 3 and 6. Race 3, number 3, Explicit. It'll be no price, but this dog's airborne at the moment for Jason Thompson. Speedy getaway will run time. Race 5, number 8, Rinse the Lot. I do like Bezecchi, but it's too short to back for me. I am going to team up with one of the West Aussies in race 8, though, and that's Greyhound number 3, Sunset Fraser, coming here off blacktop success. This dog has got magnificent early and mid-race burn. Just thought that from box number 3, Sunset Fraser should be able to hunt up, muster into a spot, and from there run really slick times. I thought it'd take some running down late. That's race 8, number 3, Sunset Frazier.
I think the Bezecchi will drift. I think most people know he doesn't jump like that. It's the first time he's ever done that. So I think a lot of the smarties will look for value and take him on a bit. And I think he'll drift. So if you want to back Bezecchi, I'd say wait, keep your powder dry.
Yeah, I agree. I tend to agree. Although the scare factor is the time that it put on the clock. So a lot of people that don't know the dog from WA and have just seen that run last week are going to go, wow, this dog's just a pinging machine, and it's a 20. It's the second fastest dog ever. They won't look deeper than that.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me then, who's this dog? They've never heard of this dog. So I had a lot of people from over east, so they've never heard of Bezecchi.
A week ago they hadn't heard of it, and this week it's the $6 favourite to win the whole series. Isn't a week a long time in greyhound racing? So you're 8-3 there in Sunset Frazier, and in that last heat, race 10, I've had a little something on King Owen at 101 to win the series overall. So I better have something small on him. Again, I backed him last week at a good price. The dog was good to me, and I'll go again there this Saturday night, 10-8 King Owen at a nice price. So they are my key plays for a big night. Good odds Cobra will be hard to beat. We'll go through the WA dogs. Savick draws box 5 in the second of the Sydney Cup heats. She is Fire, Aunt Virginia, Valpolicella. They are all top-level, elite, top-grade stayers. Savick's been going well over here, but this looks to be a step up in grade.
Yeah, well, She is Fire in box 8. I thought she would be burning across this field and leading. Valpolicella returned to form last week. I think there was a slight sign of that, I guess, the week prior when she runs second, just getting back to around that 42 even mark at Albion Park, and she broke the track record there at Ipswich. So I think she's just sort of clicking at the right time again. So she does like to use the track a little bit. Savick, obviously, slow beginner and needs a lot of luck in racing. So I don't think he'll be too competitive personally.
All right, he'll be getting back and charging home late. It's the usual racing pattern. Bezecchi we've just touched on pretty significantly. How do you see the speed in the race panning out here, JC? Because we know Bezecchi can muster quite nicely. Last week, the seas parted. It was the perfect storm from an early perspective with the dog. But it's not. It doesn't have to. It must also be said that this dog doesn't need to be leading to be winning. There's absolutely a world where it doesn't quite nail the start, sits 4th or 5th untouched through the first corner. It's a clever dog in a field, weaves its way into clear track and still wins in a 29-3, 29-4.
Yeah, well, I think the key thing for Bezecchi this week is, firstly, he's found a heat where I don't think if any of these dogs found the arm, they'd be able to run beneath 29.50. So that would obviously give him a chance. If he begins the way he normally does begin, and he probably does settle second or third here, he actually gets a chance to run him down. And the second thing, I guess, in his favour here is he's drawn out wide. The dog in box 6 is a slow beginner that gets back to the rails, and the dog in box 8 is a bit of an iffy beginner, begins at the best of times, a bit like Bezecchi, I guess. But price-wise, I think probably even money's fair price, and that's probably the reason why I haven't dived into $1.70. But I guess if you just sort of took away all his prior form, you could probably price him as low as $1.20 in this type of race. But he's just one that you just probably got to have to wait. I probably agree with both you guys. I think people will look to probably take him on a little bit. But I can't see him starting much further north of $2.
No, I'm with you on that one. Sunset Frazier draws box 3 in race number 8. That black top win was elite. The dog's got a massive motor. Looks to be back. That would have been great for this dog's confidence. As if we think back to that race, for memory, good odds Cobber was in it. There was a lot of really high-quality dogs in that lineup, and Sunset Frazier just burned them off, as we've seen it do so many times through that first corner. This dog is now confident, back. It's had time to settle in New South Wales, and it's a very, very smart greyhound.
Thing is, he didn't jump. He didn't jump in that final at the black top, and he still led. He just charged over. I mean, if the dog ever got the start right, he'd be as quick as Fernando Bale out of the boxes. Missing the kick and going quick and still running like 480 at the Gardens is insane. I thought this race, JC, I'm not sure if you agree, but I thought 4 and 5 might be cutting left and putting a bit of pressure on him early.
Yeah, well, it's just a shame that he's not beginning, because he hasn't really begun, in my opinion, even up in Queensland when he was racing throughout the Winter Carnival. He was just mustering, and he's, as you said, if he does begin one night, he's going to drop sectional records, which he already has over in WA, obviously. He's Personally, he's probably one of my favourite dogs in Australia. I'm not just saying that because he's a WA dog, but I just love any dog that has sections because they just put himself in races every single week. And not only does he have sections, he has no regard for his body. Like, he's one of those dogs where he could not give a flying F. If there's a dog drawn underneath him, he'll literally carve its head off just to get across and find the rails and lead. So
fearless.
The reason why... Sorry?
He's a fearless chaser.
Yeah, well, he's as fearless a chaser as you'll ever see. He's he's a lunatic, realistically. So I agree with you, Train. The reason why I've sort of gone a little bit wider in the quaddies because he's not stepping 100%, and the 4 and the 5 both go left, and they're both the 2 speediest dogs in this race. So I think it's going to be out of those 3. Obviously, if Fraser does begin, he's going to be able to run probably sub 29.50 on the arm, which is going to be extremely hard to run down for either of those dogs. But I've just probably gone a bit wide in that race, and I'm hoping he wins because I really enjoy watching the dog race.
I think he's no hope because I got $41 pre-post, but in saying
that'll do it.
Saying that, ever since he's left Kennington, when he went from Kennington to Mandurah, then to Brisbane, that's when the box winners went out the window. He used to fly the lids at Kennington. But yeah, ever since Mandurah and different boxes at Mandurah, Shorty, the new ones, and then Brisbane, and then obviously Wentworth Park it's a totally different boxes again. So obviously he would have had a few trials there, but anyway, best of luck to him, and God bless.
Sometimes that noisy lure can suck them out, and that's the other point I'll make about Bezecchi. So this is the first time that Bezecchi's gone around at Wentworth Park, and it got out really clean and quick. Now, some dogs just like configurations at certain tracks.
Lure,
I think I look back to a dog like Hinto here locally is a great example. At Cannington, it was sitting back half of a lot of its races, right? Mandurah reopens, new track, new configuration, loves the place, finds itself sitting top 3 in nearly every race that has been round in since, gets in the habit of it, goes somewhere else and still begins better. So this might be the sort of case that a dog like Sunset Fraser with that noisier lure sits down a bit lower, nails the start, and if it does, then look out. But Bezecchi could absolutely begin better than what it usually does, because Paul Stewart made the point on the aftermath last Sunday morning when we spoke to him that this dog generally sort of can't hear the lure and sort of is almost a bit sleepy in the lids here, but he said he just seemed a lot more alert and ready to go. So maybe this lure system will be a big part of it as well.
The fact that he had a good crack at it too when they didn't shut the gate, that might have, when he jumped on top of it, that might have given him a bit of extra motivation as well.
Well, yeah, but also the fact he ran 220 metres further than he should have, and the fact that he pulled up with a little niggle out of it. There's scope for this to be more improvement, believe it or not, off that run. But anyway, it was a perfect storm. Let's hope he goes well. And the other West Aussie runner quickly, JC's Miss Envy, draws box 7 in race 9. Her best would compete here, but needs to get that start right.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Miss Envy. The box really doesn't help her whatsoever here. There's good speed underneath, obviously. Gets late early. She wants to jump, run off the track into the fish markets in Sydney, where I'll probably treat you boys on Thursday afternoon or whatnot. Nadal Sheba flying. Last start, bit unlucky there in that black top. But it wasn't the black top. What was it? Maybe it was the black top. Who knows? Can't remember. I just don't think she's going to be suited out wide. I just don't know if she has the pace to get across this field.
One thing I'll say about Miss Envy, I've taken her on a couple of times when she's drawn horrible in the national sprint final here in Northam, and I think another race, and she's made me look like egg on the face. But I agree with you, she is awkwardly drawn, and but don't underestimate her.
No, she's a good bitch at her best, no doubt about that. So we'll wait and see how that pans out. But good luck to those dogs. And also we have got a couple there going around on Sunday in those young star heats, La Sagrada and also Transcendent. So good luck to the Shinners camp on Sunday as well. They, of course, have got plenty of runners, and we're also cheering hard tonight, JC, for Kanan Stark in the Group 1 Adelaide Cup. That should be another great race.
Yeah, I'll be cheering Hector Fawley because I've got investment on him. But best of luck to Kanan Stark. Hopefully he gets around safely and runs second.
Yeah, absolutely. Now let's roll down to your very best of the weekend, JC, and I can give you an update. You are absolutely streeting us in the very best of the year competition on 1,370. Corey 740, trained 480, and we won't mention the other bloke there on 208. So we'll look to roll forward this weekend. Let's get your very best for the weekend, please, JC.
Well, I'm kind of feeling a bit like what Train mentioned earlier, a a can of Kirk's creaming soda. I'm just fizzing up, and I'm about to bust everywhere with race 5, number 8, Rinse the Lot. Very well, I guess, it's got the right rug on, the creaming soda, fairy floss rug. I think this dog, I don't say this word very often, but I think he's a moral. Absolute moral, drawn exactly where he wants to be. Outstanding record, 8 starts, 11 wins. I think most importantly in this race, he's got a lot of dogs here that have just got to be very unsuited. Zipping Megatron in box 6, slow beginner, wants to get back to the rails. And his other main danger in betting, Midnight Spritz, not the greatest beginner and does want to get off the track. So I just think Rinse a Lot, not a great deal of speed in this race other than I'm a Mustang in my opinion. I think at worst he's got to be sitting outside her on that first corner, and he should just burn her off down the back straight. And best case scenario, he just finds the front, runs his 29.40 and books his ticket into the MDC. So I'll be absolutely devastated if Rinse a Lot doesn't win race 5 on Saturday night at Wentworth Park.
JC, I can feel you with a bit more confidence. Pretty tight with the camp there, and they're very, very confident. They're happy with the preparation he's had and out where he's drawn. So, they're very confident. So, I think you should probably double your bet. Great man.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen a dog as well drawn as this in a big race. Well, not a big race, but I guess leading up to a big race. And when the same camp had McKenna going around at Albion Park, I think that was on Brisbane Cup night. It was just boxed perfectly, not a great deal of speed underneath, and there's just no dog in the race that could match it early. And I just think Rinse a Lot should just be able to find the front and just drop its sections and go forward through to next week.
Love it. Race 5, the Fairy Floss runner, Rinsed the Lot. It could be financing part of the Train and I's trip across to New South Wales next week for that big final there. JC, absolutely spectacular catching up with your good self on this Friday afternoon. Appreciate your time as always. We will be in contact and tee up for a little pre-MDC night sip on the Thursday. It'll be my birthday, so I'm looking forward to catching up with you, and we'll have a lot of fun on the Thursday and then really enjoy this massive race night on Friday night.
Get a good night's sleep on the Wednesday, mate.
Are you turning 21, Shorty?
Yeah, just a little bit bigger than that, but that's okay. There's a few greys these days, but I've earned every one of them, JC. Don't worry about that. We'll catch you next week, mate.
No worries. Thanks, guys.
See you, mate.
Jaycin Campbell with the latest for Wentworth Park on Saturday night.
It's time to roll out the red carpet and welcome our local industry VIP guest of the week.
Time now to roll out the red carpet for our VIP industry guest for this week, and Lewis Clay's been having plenty of success with his team. Has been good enough to join us on the Jet Set. Welcome to you, Lewis.
How are you, boys?
Going really well, thank you. When Train said that he was teeing you up today, I was quite looking forward to the chat. You're one of our young fellas in the sport that's having great success at the moment. I've been lucky enough to chat to you many times on the way through in regards to your journey and how you found yourself into greyhound racing. Plenty of listeners won't know that story though, and you can start basically by letting us know that it was with your pop going back many years ago now where your love for greyhound racing all started.
Yeah, it all started probably when I was very early age, like really, really young. My dad was in the dogs and got us in then. He was racing dogs with Jim Rennick, my grandfather, and started from there. And then we had a break, and then literally I was about 18 and 19, started going back down the track, and Jimmy said, well, why don't you start handling the dogs? It's getting too cold for me on the winter night. So started handling, and before you know it, I've built a kennel block and bought a property. So it all started when I was about 18, 19. And now we got a big kennel block of 20 and racing dogs full time.
Magnificent, and it's something that, again, it's a family affair. I know that your bros plays a key part as well. He loves it, seen him plenty of times at the track and the likes with you as well. The family affair continues on, and it's something that you've obviously learned from some very good mentors on the way through, Lewis, because as I've touched on since coming into the sport, you know, some people take a while to sort of find their feet and get going, but almost from the get-go, you've had a lot of really nice dogs in your care, and you've had a lot of nice results.
Yeah, I've been very lucky. Starting off with Jimmy and learning old school was really valuable to start off with, and learn how to check dogs and stuff like that. And then, obviously learning off, younger trainers now that are learning the modern way, like Paul and Sean Kavanagh. Jamie's helped me through the way. Terry Earnshaw. I've had so many people help me out through the way. You can't train dogs without help and learning new methods, I don't think. And I can't thank them enough to help me get started. And I've also been lucky with great owners, with Peter Cameron and Ryan Levitsky, Sean Kavanagh. They've all sent me some really nice, handy dogs. So for them to come on board as well, I can't thank them enough as well.
Yeah, Louis, thanks for joining us today. It's great to have you on, a former Young Achiever of the Year award, Shorty, and I think that's a great award to get. Going through the industry as a young person, getting that award, getting
great recognition.
Yeah, great recognition is the word I'm looking for. Thanks, Shorty. And I was there the night Louis won, and it was a great result for him. You just mentioned great support from owners. Obviously, you've had that, and obviously, I was the same. I got some dogs off Linda Britton and Paul Stewart and Gary Weston when I first started, and they give you that kick along. And for people like that to back you, it's a big thing, Louis.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, thank you. You can't thank them enough. You know, they pour their money into it as well. So they obviously have faith in yourself to train dogs, and you're just doing your best you can. So they also help you along the way as well. They can give you a couple of tips. They've been in the game for so long. So for them to keep pouring money into you and trust you with your dogs, it's quite a good thing for you.
How have you found the full-time training? It's quite challenging at times. Has its ups and downs, but how have you found it?
I really enjoy it. It's great, and you get your little bit of time off, and it's good to get out of the house and play some golf and get out. But definitely, you obviously need help to train full time, and I've been very lucky with my brother and my dad. They're so involved and so interested in the dogs. Even my mum getting into it now as well. So to have a full family affair within the dogs, and then I've also got a couple of mates that are really into it as well that can give me a hand. So look, you obviously need help to train full time.
Yeah, Louis, tell us a bit about the Chase the Dream. That we spoke to Jodie last week or the week before, and she was a big part of that. Tell us a bit about the dog you got for them first time owners, and the thrill on their face when they winning races is unbelievable, isn't it?
Oh, that first win was probably everyone thought there was a Group 1 race on that night. They were going ballistic, and I think that's probably the biggest thrill for us trainers now. Like you see the owners down there, and to see them win a race, just win a race. It doesn't matter what it is. We could see the happiness they have on their face. It's a bit like us, we go to the horses now and we get that big thrill. For them, it was like that for them. And Erasmus, unfortunately he's retired now, but we had some good luck with him, and he's won a few races for him, and he ended up being a pretty handy chaser. He took a while to get going. He was a bit of a slow learner, and but once he started to click, and I think once Mandra opened, that really helped him a lot. Has been a little bit of a wide runner, but he was a very nice dog, and the owners, I think, had a good time. So that was the main thing.
Yeah, they had a great first experience in greyhound racing. Erasmus Duke, the name of that dog, and I know a few people that we met for the first time at that particular function when it all kicked off a few years ago now. We're just so excited to be a part, and they asked us a stack of questions, wanted to know more about the sport, and they've had a wonderful experience. So many of those will stay involved, and of course the knock-on for that is that the dog now lives on the couch with one of those owners, and it's got a wonderful life post-racing. So there's so many good stories and good things that have come out of it.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I think there's a few guys have been knocking on the door already for more dogs, which is great, and they're going to probably stay in the sport for a long time, I think, now. So that's good for the sport, and for the dog, he's still recovering from his operation, but he's going to live a wonderful life. One of the young families are taking him, and the young fella, can't think of the young fella's name that's got him. He's in awe of him, so he's going to absolutely live the dream on the couch.
Yeah, that's the thing, Shorty. You get bad experiences in life with some things, all types of racing, but to get a good experience first up for these people, which is why obviously we chose Lewis to train the one of the dogs out of this program, was great to see, and that's what I love to hear when people are reinvesting after they've had that good experience, Shorty, to go again and keep in the sport.
Yeah, Lewis has touched on that. You guys have done the same with your horses. If you have a good experience and you get a bit back and you can experience it, you don't expect to win every time they're in, but if you can just get that great joy and what I find in ownership is the mateship that comes out of it. It's the friendships that come out of it, the opportunity to spend some time with some different people in your life. I've done a lot of it with my family over the years, with my mum and dad, and it's been a great excuse for us to catch up over the years, and there'll be memories that I'll remember for many, many years to come when they've finished up on this earth. So the sport's been very kind to all three of us on the way through. That is for sure and certain. Just your kennel at the moment there, Lewis. Is there one or two dogs in the camp at the moment that the punters tuned in today can maybe keep an eye out for over the next 3 months or so to work through the grades?
Yeah, I've got a very young team at the moment. I don't think many of them have more than 10 starts, so probably max capacity. He's the one at the moment. He looks a pretty handy type, and he's just having a little break at the moment. But when he comes back, he should still be going through the grades. He's still got a few races to win. But yeah, probably Action Shot as well. He's not far away from max capacity. He's just taken a little bit longer to mature. But yeah, that litter of the Aurora Mayor Vanderwarps, they seem to be going pretty well. The Torsa litter are going to take a little bit longer.
The max capacity is a nice dog. You'd be looking forward to Kennington reopening and maybe stepping him up over the 600 Lewis?
Yeah, definitely. Yep. Yeah, I can't wait for the 600 to start up, and then if he does get the 700, that'll be awesome. But he's knocking on the door for 600 for sure.
Magnificent. Train, across to you now for the burning question. Get that blowtorch ready for Lewis.
All right, Louis, are you ready?
Yep.
Drink order when you walk into a bar, what is it?
Probably a James Squire ginger beer.
Good choice. We've had a few of them together. Favourite restaurant, where would you recommend someone to go? We've had a little someone text in and said maybe the Ravens would on a Monday night have specials.
I knew this had to come up. It had to come up.
I don't know what it's about.
Favourite restaurant? That's a tough one. I'm really happy just a country pub. Any country pub, it's always a good feed. So doesn't matter, just a country pub.
Yep. Funniest person in our industry?
Ernie Aldrich.
Best or favourite dog you've trained?
Ooh. It'd probably have to be the Beast. Your Barrio Beast.
Yeah, good dog. Favourite holiday destination?
Ooh, Broome.
Broome. Yet to do Broome, Shorty. Have you done it?
No, sir.
That's surprising.
Races were unbelievable. Yeah. Sunday afternoon at the races. Yeah, beautiful.
Celebrity crush?
Ooh, probably Charlie Hull. She's an English golfer.
Yeah. Nice. Biggest win you've had?
Good Friday Cup, I think, with the Beast.
You knocked me off.
Friday Cup.
You knocked me off. We've get a beer. That was Good Friday, yeah.
It was a great run. He's a great dog, Barrio Beast. Great dog.
Hobbies outside of racing, obviously, if people don't know, you're keen on your golf.
Yeah, it's probably, just golf now. Since I did my ACL, just golf and still really, really enjoying it.
Yep. Favourite track?
Probably the old Mandurah, when they had the big grass hill. I used to have great memories as a kid going down there.
Yep. And the last one, mate, 3 people in our industry that you would choose to be stuck on a deserted island with.
Can I choose an owner?
You can choose anyone you like.
I got to go with Big Red. I couldn't go without him. Big Red, Cody Charles, Paul Stewart.
Good choice.
That'd be a pretty decent island right there.
I don't know if Cody would be allowed, but...
He might have to have a passenger.
Might have to do the dishes first for get permission off Britt.
Excellent. Well, it's been absolutely spectacular catching up with you today, Lewis. Thanks so much for taking the time to join us as our VIP industry guest for this week here on the Jet Set podcast, and continued success to yourself and that team. All those young dogs will continue to follow. Go well, mate.
Thank you very much for having me on, guys.
Thanks, Louis.
On the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set, here are the Darwin tips with Bones Harmon.
Bones Harmon joins us now to have a look at this 10-race card up there at Wentworth Park on Sunday. It's been a little while since we've seen 10 there up in Darwin. Welcome to you, Bonesy. How do we find you today?
Hello, boys. Yes, I'm going pretty well. 10 doesn't come around too often in Darwin. On that second week when there's no midweek Wednesday, they tend to get a couple more races in, and it looks a pretty nice card too.
It's been a little while since I've spoke to you, Bonesy. How you been, mate?
I'm ticking along okay, mate. I'm probably not going as well as you. You are the epitome of the Jet Set podcast, but I'm going okay.
He's certainly. You'd like to have a share of his frequent flyers at the moment, Bonesy. First class to LA, they reckon, next trip away. Let's get into your thoughts for the big Sunday afternoon of chasing ahead. What are you liking on this program?
Alrighty, I've got 4 for us, and we'll start off in race number 1, and it's an absolute battler's race, this one. There's 5 starters, and they've got 54 starts between them. The 3 wins, all 3 wins go to Hooray Tay. So race 1, number 2. Enough said, we'll back her, and we'll get off to a flying start in race 1.
All right, winners win. Race 1, number 2, Hooray Tay. On to the second of your plays.
Now, race 2, number 5, Clive's Chance. I'm not sure how Clive has ended up in a maiden 5th grade race. He's won 15 of 33,
Jeez.
mostly at Tamora. And he looks different gravy to this lot. So Naive's been going okay for a young pup, but yeah, we've got to be going with Clive Chance here. 15 of 33 is too good for this grade.
My goodness, that's quite a record. 15 and 9, so 24 of 33 overall. Winner of 28,000 finds itself in a maiden grade 5.
Hasn't been drawn in error, has it? Or
Well, it'll be going around and we'll be aboard. Race 2, number 5, Clive's Chance, very well graded, it must be said there in race number 2. The third play for Sunday, Bonesy?
Our third play is going to be Queen Lena in race 4, number 1, and we backed her a couple of weeks ago. Same box. She went up last week into a stronger grade and wasn't too bad, but back to a 4-5 again. We'll go with her. She likes box 1. She'll get to the front, and she should be stronger than most.
Race 4, number 1, Queen Lena. And the fourth and final play for Darwin on Sunday.
And the final one will be race 10, last race, number 8, Call Waiting. Now, Call Waiting's a pretty well-travelled dog. Spent some time in WA, knocked off West on Boomer in sub 30 seconds at one point in Cano, raced against the likes of Launch Code, Magistrate. And he's thrown up some pretty decent times up in Darwin over the journey, coming back off a spell. An injury spell, but realistically, on quality, we're going to back it in. Even though it's short of its best trip, this kind of quality should be winning this race. And look, with all these tips, I'm not sure we're going to get monster prices, but trebles could be the play, and an all-up could be the play as well.
I like it. Race 1, number 2, race 2, number 5, race 4, number 1, race 10, number 8. The 4 key plays there for Bonesy at Darwin on Sunday. Train, you got anything else to add?
No, I'll be locking them 4 in an all-up, Shorty, as I do every Sunday, and Bonesy's been very good to us over the past few weeks.
Indeed. Let's see if we can cheer these ones home, Bonesy. Wishing you all the very best, mate. Thanks for your time. We'll catch you in a fortnight's time.
Lovely, lads. Enjoy the Everest. Enjoy the $1 Million Chase. Good luck on the punt as well.
Thanks Bonesy.
Mate. Cheers, mate.
Big thanks to Bones Harmon for his thoughts up there in Darwin. Train, we've got the program at the Meadows. No Corey Smith this week. He's up there in Bali eating beef rendang spring rolls, the lucky bugger.
There was big wraps on him too. You weren't far off there, Shorty. I'm not going to Bali to try them, but good luck to everyone that has.
Tell you what, you'd be mad not to if you're going to go all the way over there, down straight to the surf pavilion and get heavily involved. He said there was 5 of them went. They ate seven servings.
How many
of
in
them.
a serving?
2, but they are large. They are proper spring rolls.
Well, I'll have one when I go there next. I'm just setting. I'm not going to fly over there to try one. So, but when I'm there in Bali, Shorty, I'll definitely be trying the rendang.
The beef rendang. I'd give you something right now, punters. It is worth getting heavily involved with, and they are not the little Mickey Mouse ones. They are almost sausage roll size. Well, magnificent.
K-Man tested them, didn't he?
Yeah. I'm big on them. Get there, get around at the Surf Pavilion beef rendang spring rolls.
They might be able to sponsor us, the Surf Pavilion. Surely.
They might be able to at this rate. Train. Let's get into the Meadows on Saturday night with Corey away. The great man Ethan Christian's been good enough to forward on his key plays for the program to us. We'll pass them on now. Big thanks to Ethan Christian. If you don't follow him on Twitter or X, get around him at Ethan's Grays, and he goes through each and every key meeting. Sandown on a Thursday, the Meadows on Saturday night, with his thoughts and his ratings on all of the races. He does a lot of great work there for Sandown as well, Ethan Christian. And his best bet, race 10, number 1, Tattooed. He has given me a rundown on all of these. Tattooed loves to race along the rails and has early speed, so should fire out to the lead and be hard to catch. Race 10, number 1, Tattooed. His roughie is race 1, number 5, Coconut Carter. This is one that's lived in my black book. Map is tricky, but has as much talent as any of these and has good two-turn experience over the odds if double-figure odds, and it generally is. 2 roving plays. Race 8, number 8, Poor Yasmin. Does too much thinking, but is very talented. Will finish up in the placing somewhere. And race 11, number 1, On Song Ice. Best dog in the race gets a sit, and how close he gets depends on if he gets a run. That's race 11, number 1, On Song Ice. His quaddie, first leg, numbers 2, 3, 4, 5 and 8. Second leg, numbers 1, 3, 4 and 7. Third leg, numbers 1, 2 and 6. And then home with 1, 2 and 8. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. 1, 3, 4, 7. 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 8, and that'll cost you 180. We've got a couple of them into the one program today, and his best, he is saving until the very last, race 12, number 7, and we'll give Corey this as his $100 play for the week. Race 12, number 7, Double Denim. Reliable early, likes to use the track, so wide box suits. Dropping back in distance, so should lead and be too strong for what is a weak grade 5. Race 12, number 7, the $100 play for our man Ethan Christian for this week. Well done to you, EC. A huge thank you for filling in for Corey for this week. On to my key plays. Race 1, number 1, Saint Nifty. Very nice dog. Drawn the inside for Brendan Purcell. It will use to...
He's flying, Brendan.
He is.
4 winners last night at Warrnambool.
Well, there's one here for you to kick off on Saturday night, Train. So one will win, and you can use that 5 Coconut Carter as your rove, and little Ruffy playing the race as well. Throw them around for some novs. In race 7, number 1, Toot Toot, This Train. Very talented canine from the Wiesner kennel. Off box number 1 will take a fair bit of stopping. And race 8, number 1, our old mate Gary Stunnon. Read that backwards if you like, the old stun on, and you get an idea of where he's tracking Gary. From box number 1, he gets a very good look at these. Nicky Whoop is bursting to win a race. They look a great Quinella playing the race, but I'll go number 1, Gary Stunnon. So all about the ones for me, Saturday night at the Meadows. 1, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1. My rovers are race 5, number 5, White Owl. One for Jeff Britton. This greyhound just hits the frame for fun. Runs a stack of placings. Will do again there on Saturday night. 5, White Owl. Race 9, number 3, Campfire. Is a greyhound that loves racing here at the Meadows, often at a big price, and does rattle at them late. 9, 3, Campfire. And the other that's been good to me of late, a race 10, number 5, Desired Path. This greyhound will be at double figure odds, and in recent times has been filling the frame at very big odds as well. So roves of 5, 9, 3, 10, 5 Saturday night there at the Meadows. Good luck if you're playing along at home. And Train will now get into the kennel mail and scraps to round out the program for this week before we round it out with your very best along with mine. I am going to start off with Lukey Townsend, who had a birthday earlier this week. Happy birthday to you, Lukey, for earlier in the week. He's waiting until the last race on Friday and Saturday night for the House Kennels as their best chances this weekend. Tonight they're at Mandurah, race 13. Dog number 8 out there in the Fairy Floss rug is West on Kaiser. He's very keen that it will be getting the job done for the punters. He said race 13, West on Kaiser starting to put it all together now and looks well placed to go well again. And then on Saturday, race 13, box 3, West on Tilly. She's had a bit of a break, but going really well at home, so I'm expecting her to go well in a very suitable race. So race 13, Friday, number 8, West on Kaiser. Race 13, Saturday, number 3, West on Tilly. Damien Credelli has joined us for his kennel mail for this week, Train, and he was good enough to pass this on before he got on the plane to Bali.
He had a few nice Aston Rupee pups debut on Tuesday night, and then win Shorty, so look out for them.
Races 2 and 3 for memory there. Go back to, if you're looking for those on Tuesday night, they ran quick times for young dogs.
Yeah, they're in the final this week. There's a maiden final this week. So Crackerduss was one of the names of him. I think he was very impressive.
Yeah, in the second race there Tuesday night. So he passed these on before he jumped on the big bird to Bali. Friday night, 3-1 Miss Vivas. Generally likes the outside box, but with her early speed and with her being fresh, she should be in the finish each way from the inside. You're not getting each way odds, unfortunately. It's an odds-on favourite.
Yeah.
Race 8, number 2, Go Seek Ariana. This is one I do like. Suited by the inside and will enjoy a race where there are a few quick beginners. Very big show. Don't leave Dark Lightning out either. He's an each-way chance at double figures also. So drawn wide. Wasn't a bad run, Dark Lightning, last time out. Included at a price. And then Saturday, race 1, number 1, Go Seek Francine. Always a chance from the inside. Will figure late as a flat spot mid-race. So if she isn't dragged down and is left to run on, she'll be hard to hold out.
These Credelli brothers, what are they tag teaming each other for holidays or something?
In and out of the Bali holiday routine of late.
Check their boogie bag boards.
Oh, look out. Onto a Friday night race. This is for our man Grazer. He's back. He's just back in from Bali. Race 7, number 7, What a Ripper. Red Dog will be hard to beat in this, but you can't leave this bloke out from the 7 box where he's won 4 of 6 each way chance. Race 12, number 1, Maximum Carnage, has found his mojo again, winning 2 of his last 3 in easier company. Absolutely flew around last week. If he can push up early and reproduce that run, it'll be very hard to beat. And then 2 on Saturday night. Race 5, number 4, Bungee Man. Music to our ears here. Huge run last week from a light let-up. This race has a bit of early speed in it, but if he can get clear on the rail, he should prove too strong for them. And race 11, number 1, Chloe Ant, just doesn't know how to run a bad race lately. Drawn the box and ran her fastest time last week. Should be in the finish again. So we've got race 7, number 7, race 12, number 1 tonight at Mandurah, and then tomorrow night, race 5, number 4, and race 11, number 1. A big thanks to Graham, Damien Credelli, and also Lukey Townsend for the Kennel Mail for this week. What can you contribute to the Kennel Mail this week, Train?
Can contribute. Hello, doctors, my friend Chloe Ant, and that 600 off the 1 box. It's going to give me nightmares. Shorty re-Rhino Bale a few weeks ago.
Wow, it's a more reliable dog than Rhino.
We'll go again.
Much more reliable dog.
I've got a few chances over the weekend. Shorty, obviously, you touched on Curious Georgia tonight. Scratching of Jimmy's Jet helps her. She'll roll forward. We've kept her really nice and fresh for this. Had a really quiet week, so expecting her to ping. Obviously, going to be hard to hold out Cody Charles off the 1 box. Tomorrow night, I thought Rippin' Moses was a chance. Don't think he's well boxed on the inside. He doesn't seem to appreciate it. I was a preferential box draw, and they did ask me, and I was sick of him drawing wide, so I asked for the inside, and I got the inside, and I just don't know if he appreciated it. So box 5, tough race. Chili Man's dog hard to beat, but I think the best of him, Shorty, Tuesday night race 8, number 1, enjoyable. She's back to the 400 at Mandurah off a few 500s up there at Northam, and just giving her a bit of a freshen up as well, so she'll be nice and fresh going into that. So should be my best 8-1 Tuesday night, enjoyable.
And of course, Iconic Jet in the feature on Saturday night, as we heard earlier on, is right there in the mix.
Yeah, he's jumping out of his skin, ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So, like I said to you last week, I was a bit nervous. This week, I'm excited to see what he can do in this grade.
Love it. Okay, there's time now for scraps. You got any scraps?
Got a few. Geelong tonight, race 9, number 1, Spring Regency. This dog's had 2 starts for the Delbridge camp in Melbourne, formerly raced in Sydney. It's gone up to sale and run the hands off the clock, Shorty. So, been well back tonight at Geelong, race 9, number 1. And then just 2 for the punters at the Gallops tomorrow. Won't be a week without tipping one of Joe Pride's, but he snuck one down the Melbourne, Shorty. Race 4, number 14, City of Lights. I think she's a half to Winks, or she's related to something that's a freak. But second up, bit of money for it. Don't be scared to have a little bet on that, punters. And then race 3 in Sydney tomorrow, Rosehill. Bear on the loose. There could be a bear on the loose next week as well, Shorty. You never know. Race 3, number 6, Bear on the loose on top of race 4, number 14 at Caulfield. And then tonight, Geelong race 9, number 1.
Oh, beautifully done, Train. Now, coming up with Shorty's multi for this weekend on the Gallops. Oh, so close last week at $21. We had 2 winners and a very close-up second.
Money back?
Money back, yeah, $50. Money back. So, same again. If you're a TABtouch account customer, place these on the fixed odds through TABtouch up to $50. If we get 2 winners and 1 misses, we do end up with a wonderful bonus there. For the punters to get involved with of your money back up to 50, but hopefully we just land it raw, Train, and we don't need money back. I'm looking to go. It's actually a weekend where I'm really, really confident that we can land this.
There's a lot of short price favourites over the weekend. Broadsiding, Mr. Brightside. I don't know if they're going to be in your multi, but
one of them is.
Yeah.
But I've dodged I've only had the one odds on in, and this is how it works. So because I know that there's money back if we can get two of them, I tend not to be overly sort of out wide. I try to keep it conservative so that we can at the very least get our money back. So for this week, I think there's two good things, and the other one, if it brings its best, should just win. So I'm kicking things off. Race 5, number 7, Jimmy Star. This horse was unbelievable last start. Melbourne, yeah. They're all Caulfield. Yeah. Race 5, number 7, Jimmy Star. It was not entitled to fill a hole, let alone win the race last start. Go back and watch it. Amazing. Hopefully can get the job done there tomorrow. Race 8, Broadsiding, picks itself. This is the most exciting horse in the country right now. It'll be very, very, very hard to stop. And we wait till last with what I think's the best of the day, and it's the best price of these three, and that's Another Will. I love this horse. It just keeps fronting up and winning. The only time it hasn't won was on a rain-affected surface last run of the prep. Complete forgive job. Set for this race tomorrow. Oh, punters, $2.90. Yes, please.
A lot of talk about that with the nomination of Pride of Jenny to raise the weights and whatnot. Obviously, trying to get this horse in, but I did see 210 earlier in the week, and it's out to 290. What's the drift? What's the alarm?
Well, I've only seen from final field conditions, and it was $2.90. It's out of touch to 330. Look, there's good horses in the race, and I'm even prepared to have a save on Elsafina. I thought she was really good over there in Melbourne first run, but Another Will's got really good form on the board here.
Did have a chat to Grant through the week, and he's very happy with Elsafina. Said she's never been in better shape. Her feet are good, and that's the issues they had here running her on the hard track. So I'm very happy with her, and she drops to 53.5. Obviously, Blake Shin couldn't make that weight, Shorty, so John McNeil's the pick-up rider, and then she will go on to the Empire Rose, where I think Blake will hop back on.
Yeah, excellent. So, I'm having a small save on Elsafina, and also we catch up with Racetrack Ralphie on the Aftermath each Sunday, and he said to put Wishlaw Lass into your black book off that runner-up performance behind Another Will last start. It was beaten a length and a half on that occasion. It's a $31 chance here, so that might be one to throw in as well for the novelties. But in recap for me, our multi for this week, all at Caulfield, 5, 7, 8, 1, 10-4. Good luck. Give those three strength for this weekend. And good luck to our man Corey as well. He has Kenya All Class going around tonight there at Bendigo in this Spring Cup final. It is absolutely airborne. It'll be winning, and I think Ethanol Volume will run second. So we can take the 8 from 3 exacta tonight there at Bendigo. Time now for the very best of the weekend train. What are you doing this week?
Yeah, well, Shorty, we've already talked about being resilient earlier on. I'm going to have a little all-up tomorrow night, and I'm just going to close my eyes and watch this and listen. Race 11, number 1, Chloe Ann, a win. All-up, race 12, number 4, Aussie Bluff, a win. That'll be it. And nothing more needed to say. I'm that far behind, I can't hear the band playing, so I need both of them to win desperately tomorrow.
All right, so Chloe and Aussie Bluff for the train. I'm also going Mandurah Saturday night this week, punters, and my play is race 2, number 1, Ditalini Manelli. I'm going all Italian on you there on Saturday night, punters. It'll take an absolute power of beating. I also think race 5, number 4, Bungee Man, the place is a very safe bet. And I also think Chloe Ant will run a hole off the inside. So I'm going 2-1 the win, 5-4 the place, and 11-1 the place.
I nearly messaged you last week when Tweak Freak won on Friday night, and I had my very best run rolling up to Aussie Bluff. I was only going to message you Friday night and say, well, I've just put the kiss of death on Aussie Bluff.
Yeah, well, as it turns out, you did, and our first leg won there last week. But anyway, that's all right. Well, I need to just find this, and hopefully Saturday night's the night to straighten things up, punters. All right, train. So that's everything for this weekend, done and dusted. We've taken you right around the nation on a massive weekend of chasing here in Australia. Hopefully there's a little bit of something there for everyone. Also, if you love the Wentworth Park card on Great Greys yesterday, the great man Joe Lanuti was good enough to forward on his key plays for Wenty on Saturday and also Sunday. Hit our TABtouch blog up and click on Great Greys, and all of Joe's tips are there from the show yesterday as well. So a huge thanks to our great mate Joe Lanuti there as well.
Yeah, 100%. Just get behind the WA dogs over there. It's $1 million race, and we don't know if we're going to get the opportunity for some of these dogs in WA to race for that sort of money again, Shorty. So good luck to everyone in the $1 Million Chase semi-finals.
Indeed. Any shout-outs to finish this week, Train?
Just a big shout-out to the team at home, obviously led up by Jay. She's been doing a hell of a lot of work for me, and she's got her own dogs, and she just never whinges or complains. Goes to the races, handles the dogs, and just a big shout out to her and the rest of the team.
Indeed. And I just want to say for next week, can't wait for the break. So we're off next week. We'll be back in a fortnight's time, but can't wait to get there across to Sydney town for what is one of the biggest weeks of the year from a greyhound perspective and also the thoroughbred perspective. So we're getting 2 licks of the ice cream, Train.
So good that they're doing it Friday night into Saturday. It's so good. Similar to our free code thing that we have here. What's it called? Wriston Trilogy. So good. They back up after each other. It's just a great event. And, good luck getting some accommodation in Sydney. I've had a few people try to get some motels there now, Shorty, and they're right up the top of the prices. So,
it's obscene. Too late she cried. Too late she cried. And we'll round it out. Hopefully this will put a smile on your face for your weekend of punting upcoming. 2 guys chatting. One of them's based overseas and the other is his mate here in Australia. Bro, I'm really missing home. And his mate replies, it's only a month since you left. He said, okay, so how's my cat then? He said, oh, bro, she died. I said, what? You tell me like this? I said, mate, how am I supposed to tell you? He said, slowly. For today, you could have said she is playing on the roof. Then tomorrow, she fell off the roof and she's sick. And the next day, she died. Anyways, how's my grandma? She's playing on the roof. There you go. So hopefully your nan's not on the roof this weekend or your cat and you're backing plenty of winners. Thanks for tuning in to the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set podcast. Have a ripper weekend. We'll catch you in a fortnight's time.
Thank you for joining us for this week's edition of the TABtouch Greyhound Jet Set. Be sure to share and retweet the show to help grow our community. Into 'em, punters.